Hi, I'm Rachel Atkinson from Daughter of a Shepherd. My earliest memories, it's been out in the fields with my dad and my mum and my sister, and we spent a lot of our weekends in the fields, and Dad would be training dogs or he'd be tending the sheep, and me and my sister would amuse ourselves in the field and help out around lambing time and things like that. The sheep were a very integral part of childhood. So it was 10 years ago, this year, since I met Susan at Loop and asked if she had any work. And I think I sent my CV on the Monday and I started on the Tuesday. It was very inspiring, and I started doing some knitwear design, and using the beautiful yarns from Loop, I created a few different patterns. There was the Cecilia cowl, which was inspired by sequence knitting book. There is the hike cowl, which has become one of Loop's most popular patterns, and the blossom mitts. And along with those, I also designed a couple of patterns for Susan's anniversary book, Loop's 10. There's the Arkell scarf, which was inspired by Julie Arkell, a good friend of the shop, and there's a pretty little whimsy garland. The idea for Daughter of a Shepherd began in 2015. I was visiting my dad and he'd just received a cheque for 94 pence from the British Wool Board. This represented 10% of the final value he would receive for the 450 fleeces sent. I just couldn't believe that it was such a pittance, especially when I was working in the knitting industry and I love wool, and all of this got me thinking, like, why are we seeing our wool going to waste? And I had some savings for our mortgage, and I decided to sink them into getting it spun and see if we could produce a product that had value. So once I have the fleece, the next job is to sort it, which involves just taking off all the dag ends and any other bits that you don't want in there. Once that's done, it goes to the scourers where it's washed, and that's done in Yorkshire. And then from there it moves on to one of two mills. Our Hebridean fleece goes down to John Arbon in Devon, who we've been working with since 2015. Watching the different processes and seeing the yarn gradually emerge from what essentially was just a bag of fleece, it is absolutely fascinating. Along with the Hebridean yarns, I worked with my dad's shearer, who gathered fleece that was otherwise going into a bin, and I bought a bag of white and a bag of black, and from that we had the next yarn spun, which was ram jam. Ram jam is a really important yarn for me. It represents everything that Daughter of a Shepherd set out to do, that of putting value into something otherwise considered worthless. I was also being contacted by lots of different shepherds around the UK and have bought in fleeces from other rare breeds, each with their own characteristics and all perfectly usable for something. I also work with a shepherdess up in Nottinghamshire who has Hebrideans that are also used for conservation grazing, and we've used her fleece to create fabrics and blankets, and having the fleece and trying to find different uses for it apart from the knitting wool has been really interesting. It's just finding that use for the particular fleece that matters, and that's part of the challenge, and that's part of why I love doing what I do. And where this journey goes next, I don't entirely know, but then I didn't know where it was going when I started either.